everyone, and welcome to LawSikho's thorough newspaper analysis for the 27th of July 2023. Now, today we will be having one editorial article which has been taken from the Indian Express and is titled Why Kerala Trade Unions Are Opposing Centre's Power Sector Revamp Scheme. Now, for the second and the third segment of the day, we will have the news update and the legal news. Now, with respect to today's article, which is the center's power sector revamp scheme and why the Kerala trade unions have been vehemently opposing it, it stems from the fact that the Kerala government has faced stiff opposition while implementing the center's revamped distribution sector scheme. Now, this will be henceforth called as RDSS. Now, the CPIM Politburo, which is also the party that is in reign, claimed that the scheme could lead to the privatization of the power sector and the burden for the same shall fall on the farmers and the poor. Now, presently, the power sector of the state is like the control for the same rests with the Kerala state government. Now, this particular scheme that we are talking of, the RDSS, it talks of a private and public sector partnership in order to improve the distribution mechanism so that it's a net gain for both the government, the state government, that is, and for the end consumer as well. However, this is what is on paper. And the CPM Politburo has gone forward and has accused the central government that if the state government goes forward with this, then this will lead into a private sector overtaking the public sector in this particular distribution and power sector. Now, before we go into whether it's true or not, or if it happens and what is the merit or demerit of it, first we have to discuss on what is this revamped distribution sector scheme. So the RDSS project has two particular components. One, revamping distribution networks, and two, smart meter implementation. Now, when we talk of smart meters, the name is pretty suggestive, as in it will be reducing the distribution loss that the electricity boards face very often, and it will also enable automatic measuring of power consumption of the end consumers. Similarly, power lines and distribution systems will also be enhanced and modernized under this particular scheme. And all of this will take place under the TOTEX mode. That is, the total expenditure shall include the capital and operational expenditure. And in order to ease the process, there will be a private and public partnership. Now, what is the bone of contention regarding this particular project? The Kerala State Electricity Board, that is the KSEB, has invited tenders from private companies for the installation of smart meters. Now, the feature of this tender is that in order for the companies to vouch for the smart meters, they will have to ensure that they take an end-to-end approach. That is, they have to provide these smart meters, they have to install it, and they also have to ensure that the maintenance of the same is being done. And instead, the cost that is accrued by the private entity that is supplying the smart meters, the same shall be paid off by the state government or the public sector in trenches. Now, the trade unions have vehemently objected to the tender process, which has completely stalled the entire process. And they have feared that this might initiate a privatization of the electricity sector. The KACP have also argued with the trade unions that this is the only way financial assistance can be received from the center if the project is to be implemented in the TOTEX mode. That is, the TOTEX mode is very important. If the state government does not go forward with this TOTEX mode, the center will not provide the grants that it has earmarked for this particular project. Now, the opposition has come forward with this quarrel in the picture, and they have claimed that it should be the state who is manufacturing these smart meters. Now, the first question arises is that, is it possible? Now, the opposition has claimed, though, that there are certain arms of the government, like CDAC, which will help the state governments if they want to come up with their own smart meters. And this will also be beneficial to the poor and the farmers because this will bring down the cost of the smart meters to 9,500 if the state makes it. Now, we are yet to see how this unfolds and how the other states react to this particular distribution sector scheme as well. So with this, we move on to the news updates for the day. Firstly, we have Ministry of Textiles organized sixth national conclave on standards and regulations for technical textiles. Now, the event encompassed 5 technical sessions focusing on standards and regulations under specialized areas of technical textiles, like protective textiles, geotextiles, build tech, ecotech, medical textiles, and in other emerging areas as technical textiles. There was a special session also discussing rationalization of HSN codes and standards and implementations of QCOs. More than 150 participants attended the conclave, including officials and representatives from the central ministries, under user departments of central and state governments, institutes, industry leaders, scientific experts, researchers, and professionals related to technical textiles across various categories. Now, for the second update of the day, we have Harmanpreet Kaur gets 2-game ban after the Dhaka outburst. Now, after an outburst in the third ODI against Bangladesh and comments in the post-match press conference, Indian captain Harmanpreet Kaur has been handed a 2-match suspension by the International Cricket Council for breaching the code of conduct. As a result, she will miss the start of Asian Games, where India will be making their debut in cricket, with her deputy Smriti Mandhana leading in her absence. Thirdly, we have India and Argentina agree for new bilateral exchange. India and Argentina have agreed for a bilateral exchange of young researchers and startups, particularly in the field of biotechnology and agriculture. These two countries also decided to hold comprehensive talks between delegations comprising academia, R&D institutes, and industry in the field of science and technology and biotech. Next up, we have Jammu to pioneer India's first cannabis medicine project. The Cannabis Research Project of CSIR IIM Jammu, spearheaded by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, marks the first ever initiative of its kind in India. This groundbreaking project is carried out in partnership with a Canadian firm which is named IndusCan, with the aim of harnessing the potential of cannabis, a substance known for its abuse potential for the benefit of humanity, particularly for patients afflicted with neuropathy, cancer, and epilepsy. It has the potential to revolutionize medical production, ensuring that the country can produce and export medicines that were previously sourced from foreign countries. Next up, we have the Kargil Vijay Diwas. Now, the Kargil Vijay Diwas is celebrated every 26th July in India, and it is commemorated to observe India's historic victory over Pakistan in the Kargil War for ousting Pakistani forces from their occupied positions on the mountain tops of northern Kargil district in Ladakh. This happened in 1999. This day is celebrated all over India and in the national capital, New Delhi, where the Prime Minister of India pays homage to the soldiers at Amar Jawan Jyoti at the India Gate every year. Next up, we have Phangnon Konyak becomes the first Nagaland woman MP to preside over Rajya Sabha. She also holds the title of being the first woman to be elected to Rajya Sabha from Nagaland and only the second woman from the northeastern state to be elected to either house of the parliament or the state assembly. The BJP leader broke another record last week when she became the first ever woman member of Rajya Sabha to be appointed to a panel of vice chairpersons. Next up, we also have Lok Sabha passes Biological Diversity Amendment Bill. This will be conducted at CISCE. Sorry, the act was enacted with the aim to conserve the biodiversity, promote the sustainable utilization of its elements, and ensure just and fair distribution of the advantages arising from the use of biological resources. The amendment intends to encourage the Indian system of medicine, facilitate fast tracking of research, patent application and process, and decriminalizes all the offenses under the act. Next up, we have CISCE partners with NIEi for school leadership training program. Now, this will be conducted at CISCE's East Zone office in Kolkata from the 24th of July to 28th July 2023. The training program centered around equipping the heads of schools with educational capacities to effectively implement the National Education Policy, or the NEP 2020, in their respective schools. We also have Ranjit Pratap releasing his book As the Wheels Turn. On the occasion of Rayala's Corporation Diamond Jubilee, the managing director of Rayala Corporation, Ranjit Pratap, has released an insightful book that offers a captivating account of his remarkable journey in the world of business. Titled As the Wheel Turns, this compelling narrative hopes to motivate readers by sharing Ranjit Pratap's personal experience, hardships, and triumphs. The release of this book coincides with a significant milestone in Ranjit Pratap's journey as he celebrates 50 years in business. For the international news segment of the day, we have a particular blow to the LGBTQIA plus community, wherein Russia bans sex change in transgender marriages. The new legislation imposes a comprehensive ban on various aspects related to gender changes. It prohibits any medical interventions aimed at altering a person's sex and also bars individuals from changing their gender in official documents or public records. Only medical intervention to treat congenital anomalies will be allowed under the new law. Furthermore, the legislation goes beyond restricting gender changes and extends its impact to marriages and family planning. It annuls marriages in which one of the partners has undergone a gender change, and it outright prevents transgender individuals from becoming foster or adoptive parents. Next up, we have China names Wang Yi as the new foreign minister. China named veteran diplomat Wang Yi as its new foreign minister and removed the former rising star Qing Wang after a mysterious 1 month absence from duties barely half a year into the job. Wang retakes the foreign ministry helm as China seeks to re engage with the world after years of COVID induced isolation. As the mooted economic recovery fails to gain hold and the Beijing spars with Washington over issues from Ukraine, Russia, and Taiwan to trade and technology disputes have gone forward. Now, for the legal updates of the day, we have one regarding Article 136 of the Constitution of India. That is special leave petition against NCDRC's order passed in exercise of its appellate jurisdiction cannot be entertained. Now, the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Messrs. Universal Sompo General Insurance Company Limited versus Suresh Chand Jain held that an aggrieved party would be able to approach the apex court under Article 136 of the Indian Constitution for the grant of special leave to appeal against an order of the National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. However, this entirety would only be applicable if this particular order by the NCDRC had been passed by the Commission in exercise of its original jurisdiction. For the exercise of its appellate jurisdiction, the same cannot be challenged in front of the Honorable Supreme Court. So this was all for today. For free study materials and TNA PDF slides, please join our Telegram channel, the link of which you can find in the description, or you can always scan the barcode that is given on your screen. Don't forget to subscribe our channel on YouTube to stay up to date with the thorough newspaper analysis as it comes out every day. Also, as I say every single day, do not forget to attempt the quiz, which serves as a pop quiz reminder for what was there in your thorough newspaper analysis the previous day. Thank you.